Alright, here we go. So I'm making this recording for a user on the Autodesk forums, specifically Ryan, asking about how to model a dandelion, which I want to start off by saying I don't know why you would want to model a dandelion, but that's okay. So if I'm scrolling through here, let's see, I'm checking to make sure there's no more replies. Oh, this, by the way, is that you, Ryan? Yeah, that looks painful. This looks, oh, hurts just looking. So much repetition. So let's see, let's go to page 2. As soon as it loads, there we go. And anybody else reply? Nope. Okay. So I was gonna make a video showing you how I did what I did. So let's get started. First thing I want to do is jump into the user parameters. I happen to know that I want to be here because of my previous attempts at this. I'll make a new parameter. I'm going to call it in seeds. Let's do one that's in turns. This refers to the spiral that goes through the middle. Both of these are going to be unitless. And the other one I had like 200 seeds, and I had, I don't know how many turns I had. I kind of wanted to make it just like the other one. Let me pull that up. Let's do that. Because I don't want to, let me see, drag this over. I don't want to be sitting here trying to find the right formula to make it work if by chance the one I'm using doesn't, which it should, but you never know. Let's pull up Dandelion 2.0. That should be opening any second. There we go. And let's see, what did I do? Drop this. So I did 12 turns and 200 seeds. So I'll do that again over here. And just for my own interest, 30 and 14. Okay. That will come up in a second. I'm going to close this out. Back over here, parameters. So 12 turns, let's do it. And then I'll do this, I forgot I said it, percentage 1, and this will be unitless 2, and this is going to be 30. I'm just matching the other one. I'll explain what these do in a second. Oh, I wanted this to be 2, and make this 14, and it has to be unitless, which I'll probably have to retype the number. It's fine. Alright, so what it is that those two parameters determine how much of the turns, percentage-wise, so that's why it's PREC. How much of the turns occur within the first and second fifth of the length of the spiral. So I break it up into 5 sections, and I wanted to kind of compact it at the ends and loosen it in the middle. And I did that because in the previous version, I found that if I just did a constant spiral and it never was tighter in any area, the ends of the spiral looked really loose because of that end of the curve of the circle. You get a lot more vertical, difference, vertical change in the same horizontal space. So it looks empty at that end once you pattern the pieces. So what this is going to do is it's going to take 30% of the total number of seeds and put it into a fifth or 20% of the length of the spiral, and then the second fifth is going to have 14%. I just played with these numbers a little bit, and that's what I came to find looked right. That's what the last version of the Dandelion did. So I'm going to make precision 3, or sorry, not precision. Percentage 3. Oh, that's why it's not percentage. This looks like precision. I'm not going to change it though. And this is just going to be 100. Oh, well, let me first change this to unitless. 100 minus 2 times press 1 minus 2 times press 2. So that should give me the remaining what I need in that middle fifth. And let's see, how did I do this? I made a capital P, press 1, capital B, press 2, capital B, press 3. This makes it easier to use because I know that, I'm using 30%, for example, and press 1, but it's not gonna, I can't multiply directly by that, so I'm gonna make a capital P, press 1, that's this over 100. And then I'll just control paste those into there and change their, which one they reference. So now I've got these decimal, oh, press 3 please, decimal values that I can just multiply straight against the number of turns, which now I can do that now. And I think what I did in the other one was I did rotation 1, rotation 2, rotation 3, all unitless. And there may be some shortcuts to this, but this is kind of what it unfolded as I was attempting to go through this. This is what you're getting. So this would be in turns times press capital P, press 1. And I'll just copy and paste that. Whoops, I know. I didn't hold control before I hit V. 2, 3. So now I have the number of turns in each of those sections. So on the outsides, I only have 12 turns. There's 3.6 turns at the ends, 1.68 turns, one step in on either side, and then at the very middle there's only 1.44 turns, so it should be a little over 2 each. Okay, so I think with that I'm about ready to jump into sketching. So what I found, it may take, I haven't done this in a minute, so apologize if there's some scatterbrainness. I will try to do this as smoothly as possible. I seem to remember that screencast doesn't let me rotate very well. I'm trying to, okay, well, whatever. I don't need to rotate too much. I just kind of wanted a better view. All right, so I'm gonna say that our length. Let's do this right now. Let's say C diameter is what I'll call it. It's the central diameter, and we're gonna make that 1. Oh no, I'm sorry. Something more realistic, 1/4 inch. So now what I'm going to do is, last time I did this I placed points and that worked pretty well. Really I could do this with 3 line segments, and I'll explain why I would do that with 3 and not just what am I trying to say, not just 5 line segments in this sketch. It confuses Inventor, and there's ways to get around it, but you can also just do what I'm doing here. By confuses Inventor, I mean that I'm gonna use these points to make the lines that will be used for a sweep. Once I do that, if I have connecting lines within the same sketch, where's my last point? I need one more point. Did I make it? And it just disappeared? Strange things. Maybe I didn't make it. Well, now I have. So anyway, if I've got connecting lines within the same sketch, Inventor's going to think that the sweep needs to go through all of them, and I don't. I thought there was an option to tell it, no, don't do that, but I haven't found it. So the alternative to get around that would be making some of the lines construction, and then switching which ones are construction based on which feature you're making. It's a hassle. So anyway, I've got these set up. They are centered. All these spacings are even. What I'm doing right now is placing a line between points every other gap. So come out here, you'll see kind of what I got going on there. I'll make another sketch. I'll go ahead and make the second one that is going to more or less connect these, and we'll put lines between them, and there you go. So boom. I'll go ahead and turn my sketch dimensions off. I don't like leaving them on, they're very long. So I need to start at one end. So what I'm going to do is make a plane out here. I'm going to make a plane at each point except for the very last one because I won't need it. I think that's right. Okay, yeah, good. Put one here, and one more. Do I already have one there? No, I don't. Come on, it better. Lean. Okay. Alright. So now I've got those. What I'm going to do is start a sketch out here. On this sketch, I'm going to start vertical. This line will be the C dia divided by 2. Perfect. I'm also going to go ahead and turn these planes off because they're they're awful to look at. So I'll do that. I'm going to go ahead and make the next line, even though I don't really need to. I could go ahead and sweep that, but I want to make the next line just to demonstrate something. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to put a construction line off like this. Now I know in in my model here, I'm considering this up, like vertical, towards the top. And the reason I'm noting that is because that is kind of where I'm rotating off of, is this line. It starts the rotation. So I want for every consecutive line to reference this as the starting point of the rotation, and that'll make sense in just a second. So I put a line off to the side here. That would be 90 degrees to the left off of the, counterclockwise off of the starting point. So this right here, ooh, actually, you know what? Let me check on my parameters. So I call these unit lists. Trying to think about how I need to do this. Rotation should be that times 360 degrees, and ultimately that will need to be a degree thing. My mistake. See, this is why I wanted to reference the other one, because there's some things that you just stumble upon. So I need this to be a degree parameter. So it's the number of turns. Each turn is 360 degrees. So I'm taking that result of those two being multiplied together and multiplying that by 360 degrees to get what degree change I need there. So this is going to be 90 plus, so that takes us back to the starting point. That 90 is constant, so it takes us back to the starting point of the rotation. And the reason you do it that way, the reason I do it that way, as a common practice when you're using angles that can change like that, is that you don't want it to ever be zero. At least that's in my practice. I never want it to be zero, because once you hit zero and you change the angle to above zero, it can go either way, and you never know which way it's going to pick. So it's better to just always have a constant value there to say, okay, well, it's never zero, so it's always going to go the correct direction as it grows. So this is going to be that plus rot1. So boom, popped over there. So now I'm going to go ahead and sweep this just so that you can see that it does in fact make it over there. We'll go profile, path, and then this twist is going to be rot1. Woo, look at that. But you see that without constraining or projecting or anything, that this swept profile, oh my goodness, the software does not want to let me rotate, at least not with the shift key. It lands right on that line, which is perfect. That's exactly how I want it to look. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish my other sketches, because I kind of did that little preemptive just to kind of demonstrate that it does what it does, what I say it does. So now I'm going to go ahead, and that was the second sketch. We'll do work plane 3 and make the third one. Same thing. Line off to the side. C die divided by 2. I kind of just like to keep that length controlled, even though it's not necessary. It just makes me happy. Have it fully constrained and controlled. No, oh yeah, 90 plus. This one's going to be rot1 plus rot2. So boom, that one lands there. Guarantee you, once I start sweeping these, that'll line up. Now I'm gonna look. Okay, so I've got that one. Let's do the fourth one. We're almost done. We'll get to the fifth. Gonna make our spiral. C die divided by 2. C die divided by 2. And we'll come in here. We'll go 90 plus blah 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 blah. Rot1 plus rot2 plus rot3. Perfect. And one more. Let's do one more. Plane 5. Line construction. Come out here. C die divided by 2. Another line, not construction, this. C die divided by 2. Alright, dimension 90 plus rot1 plus 2 times, if you're paying attention, rot2 plus rot3. So it just adds up those rotations as they travel along this line. So now all these should line up once I make my sweeps, which I'm about to do. I'll bring back sweep 1, and I'm going to sweep 2. Sweep 2 is going to go there. Guess what? Rot2. Perfect. See how it lines up? Boom. Nailed it. Let's do the next one. I hit the wrong thing. Nope. Still the wrong foot. There we go. Sweep. I was doing a rectangular pattern there. I don't need that. Again, rot 3. Sweep 3 gets rot 3. And then I need to bring a sketch back. Sketch 2 went away because it was used. Come over here. I'm going to do rot 2 again. And if I could stop doing rectangular patterns, that'd be nice. It's a muscle memory to do rectangular patterns more often than sweeps. And then this one is going to be rot 1 again. And that should be perfect. So in there I have exactly 12 turns, but I have changed the frequency in the turns along the line so that the outsides are tighter than the insides, so that I get a fuller ends based on the intersection curve between them in the 3D sketch. So now I can pretty much turn all these sketches off. I don't really want them anymore because less, in this case, less is more. Don't give yourself more to look at than you need to look at. So now I'm going to come in here. I usually do this on a different plane just to make me happy. And I'm going to make my semi-circle, half circle for that. Oh, I didn't get that coincident constraint part, right? Then let's make it a center line just for the sake of it. That center line is going to be C dia, and it is going to have a coincident constraint to the origin. All right. Is that not fully constrained? Okay, it's not. So let's fully constrain that. There should have been a coincident there. I missed the point when I was first sketching it. So I'm just gonna make that a surface. Revolve it as a surface, and there you go. So now I have those two. Now, my computer's not really responding, but what I'm gonna do is make a 3D sketch. So let's do that. And I'm gonna make an intersection curve. And I'm gonna grab this outside one, sure, and the sphere. It can be kind of tricky to grab these. But it's better, I guess it's easier if you come out here. So you can see I got the first one. Now unfortunately when I break this into fifths, I do have to do this 5 times, but it's really not that big of a step. It's clicking a couple extra times, and I can hit enter to accept it, and then hit enter to restart it, and it's a really pretty quick process. So there you go. There is my full intersection curve. I'm going to go ahead and turn, I'm going to go back out and turn off the visibility of my sweeps and stuff, or my surfaces. I guess I can do that here. There we go. So ta-da! There is our mixer ball. And okay, so now what I'm going to do is make one seed. I'm probably not going to make the core of it. I could. I mean, it's just a revolution, but I hadn't really intended to. And I'm going to make a seed. Now, it depends on how detailed you want to get on your seeds. I'm not going to do all that much. I'll probably dimension it, probably just because that's good practice, or good, you don't want to just not dimension things. But in the end, I don't really know. And I'm just going to eyeball it, so I don't know, 0.05. It's cool, that seems great. Alright, this I will actually give a certain distance. I'll just do C dia times 0.5. That would put it at the very edge, but I want it to be a little bit into that, so times 0.5. Sorry. There's easier ways to do that, but whatever. So this I'll make 0.01. That seems perfect. And this 0.015. Right on. Again, I'm not too overly concerned about how these are dimensioned. I'm not really caring. So now I'm also going to go ahead. I haven't done a 3-point arc in forever. There we go. Okay. I'll put this little bud at the end of the seed because I like the way it looks. It makes it look cool. And I'll just kind of give it a dimension as well. Maybe that. We'll do it right in between those two. Perfect. Okay. And we'll do that as well. Again, it's never a good idea to slack on your dimensioning, so long as you do it correctly and you don't cause more problems than you solve. Okay. So I think it's, right, length. Okay. So then you got to think about how far out does this go? Well, you got to think about it, but Dandelion puff is like maybe 1 inch in diameter. That might be a bit much too. 1 inch? Yeah, that might be right. Okay, so we got that. For the little frills on the seed, I'm just going to make it up. I don't have really anything to go by. That's what I did when I first made it, so why stop now? Let's make it, yeah, let's make it at the base of that. I kind of like that, and I also kind of want to let's do that. This is going to be revolved eventually, so I'm going to go ahead and make that a center line. Same here. And then we'll give this like an angle, I think. Oh, no, I don't want that angle. Let's do it from this edge to that. Perfect. Is 45 too steep? No, that looks good. And the only thing I want to make sure is that it doesn't overlap there, just to make sure it looks good. But I think as long as I make this small enough, it'll be fine. 0.05 might even be too much. Oh, no, that'll be perfect. It'll be half the diameter of the stem of the seed. Pardon me. Okay, so almost there. Now we take this. Got our profile. I'm going to revolve these two around that axis. I'm going to turn that sketch back on. I'm going to revolve this around that axis. Okay. Then I'm going to do a circular pattern of this around this axis. And I don't know how many to make. And I can't rotate because this software won't let me while recording. Okay, let's try 24. A little snug, 18. 12. I didn't want to do 12, but 12 is the best number. For some reason, I wanted to go more than 12. I don't know why, I just did. Okay, so we got all that. Let's turn that sketch back off. Oh yeah, I haven't saved it yet, so let's do that. Blah, 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 blah. We'll call it Dandelion example. I think somebody actually named that in the forum. Okay, so now the fun part. We're going to do a rectangular pattern. Perfect. Let's go ahead and switch it to solids because I don't feel like picking all those features and then the potential of them screwing up. So do a solid. Our direction is going to be that. Crazy. Switch the direction, use the little arrow. I kind of want it to go like that, not the other way around. I'm going to go ahead and switch this just to curve length because I don't know what the length is and I don't want to even try to guess it. So I'll just do that and let it automatically divide it evenly. I'm just going to leave it at 2 for the time being. Actually, yeah, no, I'm just going to leave it at 2 because I don't want it to screw up. So it's orientation, direction 1 is the one you want. What it's going to do is make it to where however this first seed is, with respect to the line that I'm patterning it along, all the other seeds will maintain that orientation. So this is perpendicular to that line, just straight off, right at that very point, at the end point. So that means that every other seed is going to match that orientation of being perpendicular to it. So that's how you get it to actually fan and do a spherical look pattern. So switch it to direction 1, you see that the second seed preview has flipped because it is now being perpendicular to the line at that other end. Now, God willing, if I make this in seeds, and then I say okay, if I set up in seeds earlier in my user parameters, boom! Oh God, it's so much. So there you go, and that's about it. Now, I was being a little picky about it when I looked at my other one and I said, oh well, I'm going to switch my visual style so that it runs smoother. I said, oh well, I want to fill the ends more, so it's not necessary that you do that, but it definitely makes it look better. The other one, if you look at it in the Autodesk forums, you'll see, you can tell that the ends are not as full. So I should actually see that if I look over here at one side. I wish I could trim this, but you can see the pattern here as it goes out and around. If you're looking closely enough, you can see that. Now because this is more snug at the ends, you get a fuller pattern here. And I should be able to come in here. I don't want to jinx myself. I said something about making it exactly like the other one so that I know that the recipe works. But if I change this, see that's only 12, let's make it like 32. I feel like this is gonna blow up. I feel like I shouldn't test my luck on this. What this should do is put more of the turns on the end, so that should tighten up if it works. Which is going to think for a minute because there's 200 occurrences. I probably should have done this with less occurrences, but whatever, it'll get there. Just go. Just think it. Or it'll think a lot and fail, and then I'll be like, well, I'll just leave it at 30. 30 looks pretty good. 30% of the turns being on the outside. It's only in this orientation that I can look at it and tell that it's less full. There might be a couple other orientations where you can kind of see there's a little gap, but that's nature, right? So who cares? I kind of regret doing that. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now the outsides are a little more compact. The difference being that if I look at this from this angle, ooh, look at that, ugly, because it's taking seeds from the middle and moving to the outside. So I'm going to switch that back to 30, and hopefully it doesn't look like that. I seem to remember this looking pretty good when I had it at 3014, and well, the other one said 11, but it should have said 12, and it didn't. But yeah, so I'm taking seeds from the middle, moving them to the outsides in order to make that difference. I could probably take them from the first step in and move those to the outsides, and that might be better. And I'd do that by changing 30 to 32 and changing 14 to like 10, something like that. I think that's what I would need to do. Or maybe changing it to 12. I don't know. I'd have to try. So here you go. So 30 just loaded. You can still kind of see the rows, but that's only in this orientation, and looking from the back that you can actually tell that's there. Any other orientation, you can't see it. But if you wanted to fill it up, you just have to play with those numbers. The number of turns, the overall number of turns, the number of turns, the percentage on the outside, the percentage on the inside, and the percentage on the middle step, and you could get something that looks fuller. I just don't like to sit here. I mean, I'm not just going to sit here and screw with it too much. I think this is pretty sharp. So that's about it. Is there anything else to note about this? I don't think there is. No, I think that's it. I think that's all you need to know. That's how you do it. So the whole trick with the rectangular pattern is extending this out, getting that direction one. And depending on where you are on the curve, sometimes you have to change the start point. But since I'm at the very end of the curve, I don't need to change it. And yeah, that is it. Yeah, let me know if there's any other questions you have, Ryan, or anybody else that sees this. And yeah, good luck with all that. Again, if I wanted to make the core of it, I would just I could probably take the same half sphere I used to revolve this surface and just do another revolution and make it a solid. And as I say that, my computer's gonna sit here and think for a second. Yep, here you go, say okay, boom, done. And that's that. Alright, well, thanks for watching, guys. Sorry it took so long to get to the point. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it's helpful. Take care.